Charlotte Ivers, our political correspondent, is here with me in the studio. Hi, Charlotte. Let's start with the question of refugees. And Boris Johnson there, just a moment or two ago, stressing, as he argues, that Britain is right out in front in offering help and support to refugees who want to leave Ukraine. A lot of the numbers are against him on that, aren't they? I mean, the European countries, those neighbouring Ukraine, obviously, they are way, way ahead of Britain in terms of numbers being taken in. And the numbers we've heard from the British government side, from the Home Office, well, the last number that we heard was 50 compared to the thousands upon tens of thousands elsewhere in the EU.
Yes, that number is now being denied by Priti Patel. She says this is not an official Home Office number and we should get the official Home Office numbers later on in the day.
But it was a Home Office number.
The understanding is that it initially came from the Home Office. It was first reported by Channel 4 and Priti Patel has previously been given the opportunity to deny it and didn't, but she has just denied it in Parliament. We know as well that about 5,000 people have applied for their visas completely and there's another 5,000 or so who have started that application process and have not finished it yet. But the Home Office have said that they are putting out further British officials across the continent, everywhere from the Eastern Front of NATO to Calais, in order to process more people. Now, That's a bit of a tricky one again, because Priti Patel has just said in the House of Commons that there are British officials in Calais. People are not being turned away and sent to Paris. Well, Boris Johnson's official spokesman earlier today said that we actually don't have British officials there yet. So unless they've got there very quickly, there's again some confusion going on there.
Yeah, I think now Priti Patel's saying that there's a British post there, but it's a little bit away from Calais. So, more scope for confusion. But maybe more importantly, we have the Home Secretary telling, it was the Sun newspaper a couple of days ago, that there'll be a whole new route for Ukrainians to come to this country on top of everything we've heard so far. Then that was denied by Downing Street. Then we had a minister on air this morning saying there was no such scheme. And now it's, a bit of a fog.
It is something of a fog. We haven't heard anything from Priti Patel on that scheme yet. Essentially, it would be a big expansion of who can come to the United Kingdom. So at the moment, there is a business sponsorship scheme, so people can be brought here by businesses to work. We don't know the full details of that set out yet. But the main scheme is a scheme based on people's family members, people already living in the UK, bringing their family members over. The report from The Sun was that there would be a wider scheme in place, a humanitarian scheme of the type that we saw in Afghanistan. Lots of rumours that could be coming, lots of calls for that to be coming. No evidence as yet that it actually is.
Well, we're going to come later on, Charlotte, and talk about the cracking down, so-called cracking down on oligarchs and Russian interests in this country. There's a piece of legislation, a new piece of law going through the House of Commons pretty much now. Again, though, the government, aren't they on the back foot here? I mean, they propose, for example, there should be 18 months for Russians to declare properties in this country. Under pressure, that became 6 months. And now they're under pressure to make it 28 days. They are being pushed back and back and back.
They are indeed. And you're seeing a very similar thing to what happened with the refugees issue here. You're seeing the government consistently being pulled into a slightly stronger position. The government is saying that they will be able to dramatically increase the speed of their sanctions after the bill you just mentioned goes through today. That will strengthen the ability for the government to impose unexplained wealth orders on various different people. It will also expand the number of people who are able to be sanctioned within the law. And it will also make it easier in future to understand who owns land in Britain, because at the moment it's very easy to obfuscate who actually owns land. You go via various different trusts, various different offshore banks, and it becomes very tricky to know what is there to be sanctioned. So that is the long-term plan in this bill as well.
Okay, let's come back and talk about that a bit later on in the programme. I mean, the legal obstacles don't seem to have stopped the European Union, for example, or America from coming down on a much larger number of supposed cronies of Vladimir Putin. But we'll come back to that. Charlotte Ivers, thank you for joining us. Let's now say hi to